finally was able to get a cashier's check.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you all right, buddy?
Trying to get out the jigs? Nah, I'm still rolling.
Question. Do you just speak Spanish?
Sitting on the edge with my feet flat. I'd be staring at the view. I can't imagine this is true. Who would've thought I'd end up here without my crew? Damn. Walking on the highland, yeah. I just call it dreamland, huh? Feeling like I'm Avatar exploring grounds I never saw, but how have I come so far? Don't you see me now? I'm lost. My brain and mind became less soft. Every night I train my dips. I just knew I had to stick with it, yeah.
I finally got the bike back to the house, so now I can do a more thorough walk around of the bike. Because at the auction, it was in between these other bikes, so I couldn't really go over the bike how I wanted to. But now since I got it at the house, I can kind of do a more in-depth video, so I can kind of give you an idea of everything that's pretty much wrong with it that I can see. See the bottom fairings? Well, as you can see on the whole bike, the fairings are completely gone, but the bottom one stayed on the actual bike, but there's still damage. This frame took a lot of the slide, as you can see. It's a lot of deep scratches. But the frame itself, for the most part, I have not seen any indications of a crack. This took a lot of damage as well. I'll take that off so you can see it. You can see the case, you can see clean through this thing. This is like barely just, that whole chunk came off. And there's the inside. It's kind of rusting up here. You can see all of this rusting. The chain and the sprocket is pretty rusted out. The shifter rod is bent. foot peg is completely off. The back rear spool is completely bent up. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but trying to get it to focus. Probably, not sure if you can see it or not, but the scratches right there. It's a little ding here. And there's just like little areas. Which on the tank, which is not that bad, but go back over here. This side is pretty good. Missing a button right there. Let's move on over to the back. Now outside of this real spool right here, this side is pretty decent. Now on the other side, if you look right here, the rear wheel, it kind of got bent right there as well. That's the only damage I saw on the back. The rear brake seems to be fine. The rear caliper seems to be fine. It's braking. The brake line is fine. The rear fender is fine. The passenger pegs is fine. Even though they're barely hanging on from where the rear subframe snapped completely off. Here's the actual rear subframe. As you can see, it ripped clean off the subframe. So I don't really know the details as far as what actually happened, but it just, based off the front wheel, it just appears that it had to be hit up against something and then maybe flipped and slid. And I got the seat as well. So the seat is going to be able to be salvaged. The subframe is not, of course, but I just wanted to kind of show you the condition of what it looks like. Tail light is gone, so I definitely have to get a new tail light. Luckily, it didn't get any more further damage than it did, because it barely, as you can see, it barely missed the electronics and the battery and all of that other good stuff in here. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. On the exhaust, the muffler is completely gone. I'm not sure if that's aftermarket or stock. I'm not really familiar with the Hondas that much, but as you can see here, this is still in great condition. This side of the frame, for the most part, is in great condition, even though it is a couple scratches, but we can get that out. You got a little damage right here, a little damage right there. The bottom fairing, which surprisingly is in better condition than I thought. You would have think this thing would have just ripped off too, but may or may not be able to salvage that. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to take it off and just see what the inside look like. But we may be able to salvage the bottom fairing. I'm not sure. Most likely just gonna have to get a whole complete fairing kit anyway. As you can see, the hoses, the oil filter, I didn't see any damages to the actual exhaust headers themselves, so we may be good. Up here, the front fender is completely fine. The brake calipers is fine, although up here the brake line did come off, so you have no front brakes right now. The wheel right here is bent, so I'm assuming that whatever happens, the rider must have came up on a curve or something, maybe going into a corner maybe. And I don't know, I'm just kind of just guessing here, but actually looking at the front fender, it is broken. Right there, it broke off. And then if you look right here, this broke off as well. I didn't see that the first time. So yeah, the front fender is gonna have to be replaced. So a lot of damages right here, inside of the headlights. As you can see, the front fairing is completely busted. All of this is cracked, so that's definitely gonna have to be replaced. There's pretty much cracks all over this thing. But yeah, I just wanted to go over it one more time just to kind of give a more in-depth of the actual damages, because the first video I didn't really go over how I wanted to. So the next video is most likely going to be me tearing into it, because I have to figure out write down what needs to be replaced, and then we're just going to go from there. So just stay tuned for the next video.
I said,